And what he found shocked everyone. The whole team went completely quiet. They turned off the cameras, stopped talking on their radios, and just stared at this one thing that was buried in the dirt like someone had hidden it there for hundreds of years. This wasn't just gold, it was something totally different, a treasure that could actually change history. Maybe from some old civilization, some forgotten path, or a secret that someone purposely hid. This was the biggest dig Parker had done, season, and the most dangerous bet he'd ever made. Parker's mission wasn't just some simple dream. He was making the biggest gamble of his entire life. And his favorite saying is, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Now, the big question is, did he just find gold or something nobody expected? Is this the biggest win in gold rush history, or the key to some deeper mystery? And yes, if you're into these kinds of mysterious discoveries, make sure to subscribe to the channel because the real story is just getting started. The gamble that Parker Schnabel took this time was no small risk. He started digging at a place called Dominion Creek, and remember, lots of people had already given up on this place. To everyone else, this looked like completely useless, empty land. But Parker did what nobody else could even imagine. He put a full $15 million into this location. Now think about it. Someone only takes such a huge risk when either they see something special or they're totally crazy. And honestly, when Parker made this decision, many people were saying exactly that. This guy's throwing away money. Even some people on his own team were scared because $15 million is no joke. But Parker thinks differently than everyone else. He always says, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That means if you don't even try, you'll never get a chance to win. And with that idea in his head, he brought machines to Dominion Creek, started digging, and got to work without caring what anyone thought. Now picture this. On one side, the entire gold rush community thought Parker's decision would be a total flop. And on the other side, he was completely calm, focused, and confident. This was the moment when luck changed everything. What came out after a few weeks of digging shut up all the doubters. This wasn't just digging. It was a huge gamble, and maybe the biggest win of Parker's life. The story of Dominion Creek isn't new. This place is one of those parts of the Yukon where the gold rush happened before. About 100 years ago, mining was going strong here. People came from everywhere hoping they might find a thick vein of gold. And some people actually did find it. But then slowly the amount of gold started getting smaller. Or maybe people started thinking there was nothing left here anymore. Over time, Dominion Creek was abandoned. Big companies moved to other places. The machines were taken away, the cabins sat empty, and everyone assumed this place was finished. But people like Parker Schnabel don't accept history that easily. Some old records from the gold rush show there are still unexplored pockets under Dominion Creek areas where the digging was never finished. Some geological surveys also showed there are still mineral deposits deep underground, but they're so deep down that it costs way too much to dig them out. Now this is where Parker's game plan starts. He looked at these old reports again, got satellite mapping done, and found some spots where something seemed wrong, like something was hidden underground. And this was what drew him back to Dominion Creek. While others had written it off as a dead zone, Parker saw it as a hidden treasure zone. Today, when amazing things are coming out of there, everyone's wondering were the earlier searches incomplete. Has the real treasure finally been found? Now, Dominion Creek isn't just a name anymore, but a mystery that's still being revealed. Starting the dig at Dominion Creek wasn't easy at all. When Parker's team first got there, the first job was setting up the heavy machinery, big excavators, bulldozers, trucks, getting them to the right spot, making the ground level, and deciding which direction to dig. All of this was like military-style planning, but the real problem started when the weather showed its true colors. The team had to fight day and night against the cold winds of the Yukon. Machines getting stuck in mud and constantly changing temperatures. As soon as it rained, the dig site turned into a swamp, and wherever they started digging, it would fill up with water. They had to run pumps, they had to dig trenches so the water would drain out. The soil was so heavy and wet that the machines would get jammed many times. And the hardest part of all, those rocks that came up every few yards. It felt like the ground itself was saying, it's not going to be that easy to open me up. But Parker's team wasn't going to give up. They got past every obstacle, slowly moving the dig forward. In the middle of all this, another thing working quietly but carefully was the camera crew. The team from the Gold Rush show was filming every move. But this wasn't just a documentary. The suspense was building up to dot every time something weird came out of the ground. The cameras would zoom in, the sounds would slow down, and the whole atmosphere would freeze. So the answer to what was hidden underground was slowly being revealed, but the path wasn't easy at all. Parker and his team were winning every inch, fighting battles with mud, water, and rocks. Many days of digging had gone by. The team was running. The machines, like usual, moving soil, pumping out water, everything was going on like any other day. But then suddenly, something strange started appearing from under the ground. At first, it looked like it might be a rock, but as they cleared away the soil, everyone's eyes got huge. What appeared wasn't like a vein of gold. It was something else entirely, a strange shiny surface that had a pattern on it, like someone had carved it. The whole team just stared at it for a while. No sound, no talking, just silence. And then the camera crew started recording. Rick Ness stepped forward first. He gently brushed off the dirt with his hand, and then he couldn't say anything either. Face showed that this was no ordinary thing. Other team members standing there also stopped and shook their heads like everything had frozen. And in the middle of all this was Parker. He stood completely silent. There was no expression on his face, no excitement. He just kept staring at that thing continuously. There was something different in Parker's eyes at that moment, like he was thinking about something, trying to remember something. After a few moments, he said just one line, "This is it," and then went quiet again. From that reaction, everyone understood this was something big. The team members slowly started gathering around. Someone was taking photos. Someone was making videos. But nobody could figure out what it was. The thing that came out had changed the whole mood. Now it wasn't just digging anymore. Now it had become a discovery, a mystery that everyone wanted to solve. When the strange object was finally cleared of all the dirt, everyone was stunned. It wasn't a vein of gold or a regular stone. It was something like an old iron and copper box, half buried in the ground and half sticking out. From the top, it looked like it had been buried there for centuries. The box had some weird markings on it, round, sharp-cornered symbols that looked like a language or religious symbols. Parker immediately called in the experts. Within hours, a small geological team was there. They had special tools and scanning machines. The first thing they did was examine the surface of the object. It showed signs of rust, meaning the object was really old. Then they brought out a portable X-ray scanner to check what was inside the box. The images that came back shocked everyone even more. The X-rays showed there were some metal things inside the box, round-shaped ones, some long and thin pieces, like coins, small artifacts, or maybe some ancient tools. And the most interesting thing, all of them were arranged in a very organized way, like someone had carefully saved and hidden them. The experts told them that some items had been taken away and many were missing, which probably means they had deteriorated. After this, they tested the gold. The team took out a small sample from the edge of the box and did an on-site purity test. The result came out to be 98% pure gold. This wasn't ordinary metal, but very high-grade gold content. Now the question was, is this an ancient treasure? Is it connected to some forgotten civilization? Or had someone purposely hidden it here? Nobody had the answer. But one thing was clear. Parker's discovery was no longer just about gold. It had become a discovery of history and mystery. Now the real suspense begins here. Was what Parker discovered just part of a forgotten treasure? Or was it hidden there on purpose? As the dig continued and the details of the mysterious box started coming out, the team realized many strange things. First, of all the depth where the box was found wasn't a natural layer. It seemed like someone had dug there and placed the object and then filled it back up with dirt and rocks. Hiding it so precisely, this didn't seem like the work of an ordinary person. Now the question came up, why did the old-timers, the old miners who once worked in this area, leave this place? Some local records show that in the 1940s, a dig team had found something strange here, but suddenly they stopped the work and left the site. No reason was recorded, no report was filed, just one line, operation closed, unstable ground. But now that Parker is digging there, the ground doesn't seem that shaky. And that's not all. Some locals believe that government records in the area were purposely hidden. Some files related to Dominion Creek are missing from the Yukon archives. When the show's team asked about it, the answer was, these files are not available. Now, how is this possible? So, did someone really plan to hide this treasure? Was this an old government mission that was kept secret from the public? Or was it a secret group that buried part of history under the dirt? There are many questions, few answers, but one thing is for sure. What Parker Schnabel is doing isn't just looking for gold. He's uncovering a buried truth. When Parker's team took out the box completely and opened up the things inside it, the first thing that came out was a lot of gold. Old coins, small gold pieces, some jewelry-like items, and some strangely shaped gold plates. The quality of the gold was top level, 98% pure gold. Experts immediately started figuring out its weight and value. They estimated that the market value of the gold that was found could be between $4 to $5 million. Now imagine gold worth $5 million. This is like a dream for any mining company. It was also a huge win for Parker. But the surprising thing was that everyone's eyes were less on that gold and more on something else. That mysterious object, which was kept very carefully in the same box, became the real sensation. It wasn't ordinary metal. Strange symbols were carved on it, which looked like a language, but didn't match any writing of today. Some experts said this could be the writing of some ancient civilization. Some said it was from the Middle East, while others compared it to South American patterns. Not only that, such symbols are also mentioned in local stories and myths, especially in the stories of native tribes of the Yukon. They say that once there lived a civilization called the Sun Keepers, who thought gold was sacred and kept it hidden underground. Now, the question comes up, what's actually more valuable from what Parker found? That $5 million gold or that mysterious artifact that could maybe change history? On one hand, wealth. On the other hand, a forgotten story. Parker has found a combination of both, and maybe that's why this discovery has become the most unique discovery in gold rush history. Parker's mindset, what was going through his head at that time? When Parker Schnabel was digging and that mysterious object came to light, even though he looked calm and professional on camera, behind the camera, his thoughts were very deep and complicated. Parker has always been someone who trusts his gut feeling. Even before starting to dig at Dominion Creek, everyone had told him this place was risky, a waste of money. But Parker felt there was something here, something that everyone else wasn't seeing. When that strange object was spotted during the digging, Parker went completely quiet for a while. He didn't give any big reaction, didn't jump for joy or get nervous, just stayed calm. Later, in a close camera shot, his words were, "This is it. This is the place I was looking for." Parker's decisions are always practical, but this time there was a kind of emotional connection seen in it. Like he wasn't just searching for a vein of gold, but for a piece of some unfinished history. He had already suspected that something big was hidden here, and now it was right in front of him. Gold Rush fans' reaction: explosion on social media. As soon as this discovery came on TV, it was like a storm on social media. Parker's discovery started trending on Reddit, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. Thousands of posts, comments, and videos started being made, all asking the same thing. Is this the biggest discovery in gold rush history? On Reddit, people started making theories. Someone said it could be a Templar treasure. Someone linked it to aliens. YouTube was flooded with reaction and breakdown videos. People were pausing every frame of the video and analyzing it. Whose symbol is this? Is it related to any ancient civilization? A line of memes started appearing on Instagram. In one meme, it was written above Parker's face, "When you find the secret of history instead of gold." Another viral post said Parker just broke the internet with a shovel. Debates were raging. Some said it was a publicity stunt. Others said it was the defining moment of Gold Rush. But everyone agreed a moment like this had never been shown on the show before. The Frenzy shows that Parker's discovery wasn't just a dig. It became a cultural moment, and people got deeply attached to the story. Experts' opinion: what do geologists and historians say? When Parker Schnabel's team discovered those mysterious boxes and artifacts at Dominion Creek, This matter wasn't limited to just the gold rush show. Many geologists, historians, and archaeologists became interested in this discovery. Experts from places like University of British Columbia and Yukon Geological Survey started researching it. First of all, let's talk about the geological angle. Reports revealed that the layer where the object came from was not a natural deposit. The land had already been disturbed, like something had been buried there. A geologist said such precise cutting and flat surface at this depth. This isn't possible without human involvement. This isn't just a vein of gold. It's a planned deposit. Now let's come to the historical perspective. They tried to connect the symbols carved on that box to many different cultures. Some said these look like Phoenician symbols. Some called it a Mesoamerican design. A historian from the University of Toronto said, "We haven't been able to connect such symbols to the Yukon region yet. It could mean that a foreign group had once visited this area." The strange thing was that the copper and gold used in that artifact were slightly different from the typical mines of the Yukon, both in purity and makeup. This made many believe that this could be evidence of some ancient trade or migration. An archaeologist said, "These aren't just minerals, they are stories. And if they're read correctly, then maybe we'll be able to see the history of North America from a new perspective." So Parker's discovery is no longer just a gold rush event. It has created a stir in the academic world, too. What's next? What will Parker do now? Now the biggest question, what is Parker going to do next? Will the dig stop there or go deeper? Parker Schnabel hasn't made any firm statements so far, but in some interviews he has hinted that the team isn't fully ready to stop yet. Parker said, "We won't back down until every inch of the truth is revealed." The plan for the new season looks even bigger and more high-tech. The team is now going to digitally map the entire Dominion Creek using advanced scanning tools, ground-penetrating radar, and magnetometers. Besides this, the show's producers and discovery team have also approved a huge budget. This time, because the footage and story found is no longer just entertainment. It has become a discovery of history. But there's another twist here: government involvement. The local government of the Yukon region has contacted Parker so the artifacts can be kept safe and proper. Documentation can be done. Also, the Canadian Federal Archaeology Department has also sent a preliminary request that professional archaeologists will need to be present on the site. Now, it's also possible that in the future, digging may be done under government supervision. Parker and his team will have to perform a new balancing act. On one hand, the excitement of the show and the digging. On the other hand, legal and historical protocols. Fans also want to know how deep Parker will go and whether this mystery will be fully revealed or not. In Parker's words, "If we stop here, we'll make the same mistake that people have been making for the last 100 years. So it's expected that in the next season, Parker and his team will return with new energy, new technology, and new thinking. And maybe then the last secret of Dominion Creek will also be revealed. The meaning is clear. The real story is yet to come. The real mystery, what's hidden under this place. When Parker's team had removed the mysterious box, it seemed like maybe the search was over now. But the real twist started after that. As the site was scanned more thoroughly, especially using ground-penetrating radar GPR, something came out. In the reports that blew everyone's mind, the scan detected another large object further below the ground. It wasn't a rock because it was giving off a signal of metal-like density. Parker's geological advisor said something else is hidden here, and it's very large. It's a solid shape, maybe a sealed vault or underground chamber. And when the scan was divided depth-wise, straight lines and right angles were seen in some places like it. Was a tunnel system or a structure built by humans. If there's a structure under this empty land of the Yukon, it means it was a very big plan, maybe centuries old. Now the question is, has Parker found the ancient vault that was once mentioned in local stories? Or is it the hidden treasure of some secret organization? Not just Parker. Now the entire show is in a different mission mode regarding this new discovery. Because now, the matter has become more than gold. It's like touching the biggest mystery of history. Cliffhanger ending plus call to action. What Parker found this season was just the beginning. Yes, the box was found, artifacts were found, and a revelation was made that shocked thousands of people. But as the dig is moving forward, things are getting more complicated. In an interview, Parker said, "If people think this was my biggest victory, then they should watch the next chapter. We've detected something that can change the whole story." He was speaking very calmly, but there was a sparkle in his eyes, which shows he knows how big the next step could be. Now the team has started preparing again. In the new season, they're planning deeper drilling, controlled digging, and a complete scan mapping. And the most interesting thing, some rumors are also saying that the Canadian government might declare this site a historical protected zone. The meaning is clear. Parker isn't just mining anymore. He's opening up the basement of history.